I'm here at the big Southwest Wedding Fair with Roger Knight, somebody I've known for quite a number of years. And I thought I'd have a conversation with him about weddings. You've been in this business for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm coming up to 45 years of entertaining people at parties and weddings.
And before you explain what part of weddings, what did you do originally? Where did everything start?
So it started way back when I was introduced to the world of DJing. So I've DJed consistently now for 45 years at various events and parties, but mainly weddings, to be honest with you. And in the last 25 years, I've specialized in weddings.
So that's where you started.
Mm-hmm.
You do more than DJing, don't you?
Yes.
So what's the next stage?
So the next stage for me was I decided to train properly as a wedding toastmaster or Master of Ceremonies, which I did about 14 years ago now. And that introduced a whole new aspect, because obviously as a DJ, you tend to be behind your DJ console in a protected environment. You know what you're doing, you've got the technology. As a toastmaster, especially myself, I try not to use any microphones or anything, so I use the power of my Welsh lungs. And that brings a different atmosphere into the wedding reception, because obviously it's all about helping the couples, taking the stress out of the day. So I've met thousands of couples now, and I can honestly say probably 80-90% of them just get stressed over their wedding day. And so as a toastmaster, I step in and take some of that stress, because I'm kind of in control. So I'm kind of, if you like, I'm their personal coordinator rather than the venue coordinator, shall we say. So therefore, I'm always looking after their interests. Just making sure information, talking to people. People just need to know where they're meant to be at a certain time, and whether they can nip out for a gin and tonic or a cigarette or a vape nowadays. And once they know that they can come to somebody like me and ask the question and get an answer, or I'm making announcements and telling them we're going to do the photography. The biggest surprise I've had as a toastmaster is how toastmasters particularly can really make things like the photography much better, but more efficient. Because it's what I always ask for, to be honest with you, this is me particularly. If they've got a professional photographer will always ask for a list of the family shots, or the formals as we call them. And I ask for a copy of those, because then I'm setting up 2 shots ahead of the photographer. There's always an Auntie Hilda at every wedding who will never be in the right place unless she's told. She'll either nipped off for that gin and tonic or for the vape, or simply go to the toilet. And therefore, if the photographer there on their own, they then have to adjust their shots. Whereas if I'm there on the day, I can say to Auntie Hilda, yeah, you can go, because now I'll bring Paul in instead, and I can swap the shot. Photographer just concentrates on taking great photography, which, let's be honest, that's what they're getting paid lots of money for. So I find that bit, that's really become part of my gambit on the day. The photographers normally at the end of the day, when they see the big red coat, they all think, oh, grief. But at the end of the day, most of them say, can I just work with you all the time? Because I make their life easier, and therefore the bride and groom more calm.
I think the red coat is always very traditional. It's structured. And I suppose that's what you bring to the whole event, structure.
So the Toastmaster uniform, the Toastmaster goes back 300 years, the role of the Toastmaster. And the red coat is a symbol of authority, simple as that. And it is quite different, because I don't always wear the red coat when I'm maybe a Master of Ceremonies. But as soon as I put that red coat on, people just listen to you. They know you're a focal point. If they need to know where the toilets are, if they need to know what time the bar closes, where the bride and groom are going, they just come to you all the time. And of course, because of my DJing experience, where we have lots of fun, I bring the fun element into what can be a little bit too formal. And a formally trained Toastmaster is trained that you're in charge. Well, I tend to say I'm just here to enjoy your wedding and have a bit of fun.
Well, I think Toastmasters can focus on different areas. I mean, somebody that's very serious will probably officiate at business events, whereas you're a bit more show business, if you don't mind saying so.
No, absolutely. This is why I decided to incorporate the Toastmaster into the wedding business, if you like, and offer this, if you like, all-day package where I'm with them all day. And then, to be honest with you, the DJing is very easy because I've met all the aunties and uncles, and I've maybe said, oh, Paul, what's your favourite song? So I know what's going to get Paul dancing at 9 o'clock at night already. So it does make the DJing a lot easier because they just say, and of course I don't DJ in the red coat. That uniform comes off, and it's quite funny because then people are looking for the red coat. They don't recognise me as a DJ until later on. They go, oh, I've been looking for you. Brilliant. I love it. So it gives me a control of the day where I am making everybody relaxed.
It's almost like you're their PA.
I am, yes.
On the day.
So very often I describe myself as their personal butler on the day, because most of the youngsters understand that more. But yeah, I'm there to make sure that I normally, when I'm meeting the bride and groom for the first time, I'll say to the bride, I want no frowns on your face during your wedding day. You shouldn't be worrying where the photographer is, or is the food going to come out, or Auntie Hilda, where has she gone? Yeah? And I concentrate very hard on making sure that the bride and the groom are not looking serious during their day. They're enjoying the day as much as possible.